The Sooners will be the visitors for the matchup today, and they are led by one of the great sluggers in the history of softball, Jocelyn Alo, the back-to-back National Player of the Year, looking for back-to-back national championship rings. She comes in here riding an 11-game hitting streak. And they will face a familiar foe. Oklahoma won 2 out of 3 from Texas during the regular season, but Haley Dolcini picked up a win that snapped a 40-game Oklahoma win streak earlier this year.
631 pitches that she's thrown in the NCAA tournament. She's done it primarily throwing and dominating with one pitch. It's been that screwball.
Winner here gets the day off tomorrow. They will play in the national semifinals on Monday, 1 win away from the Champ Series. The loser will come back and play tomorrow against an opponent yet to be determined. Jada Coleman in the leadoff. Sooners impressive in their opener here. They beat Northwestern 13-2 in 5 innings. It was their 39th run rule victory of the season for Patty Gasso. Now their 25th season, 5 national championships. And what a run it has been over the last decade. 4 of those titles and 6 trips to the finals in 10 years. They would be the heavy favorites to get back again to play for the title. But you got to believe a team that has seen them before, like Texas and Oklahoma State, also still alive with a win over OU. That fear factor may be eliminated. Coleman lashes that one out to right center, and that will reach the wall, and Jada leads things off with the stand-up double.
Dolcini comes inside. Jada Coleman jumping all over this. You can tell they attack early, especially Jada Coleman looking middle in. Drives this one into the right center field gap. It's a double. Sooners already runner in scoring position.
And that's for Jocelyn Alo, who has driven in 72 and hit 29 homers this year. The senior from Hawaii is flirting with a season that has never happened before. A player hitting 500 as their batting average with 30 home runs and 70 runs batted in.
And a lot of Dolcini is typically on her arm side of the plate, and against Coleman, she was all inside. Coleman made the adjustment, hit the double, and even with Alo, a little bit of outside will be interesting. A little cat and mouse because both these clubs know each other.
Dolcini was the starting pitcher twice. And there's a rocket, and that is launched deep to left and out of here. A 2-run Jallow shot for Oklahoma. Number 30 on the season, number 118 for her career.
Most powerful hitter that we've seen in the college game today. And she gets up middle. You can't even go near this zone because of what Jocelyn Alo can do. So much power. Watch her know it too. About 6 steps down the line, she's already firing up her dugout. Number 118 in her career.
And she had struggled against Texas pitching during the regular season. Not so much there. 27 of her home runs in her career have come in the first inning. That's her most prolific. Well, can Tiare Jennings match her? Because Tiare struggled against Texas pitching as well during their regular season series. She had a grand slam in their win here on Thursday. Alyssa Washington at short, one down. Let's revisit that home run swat for Alo.
Well, and to me, Jess, the first thing you look for is where is the pitch, where's the catcher going? And you can see that Iacopo is set up on the inside corner, but this pitch is over the white of the plate. It is just grooved down Broadway, and Alo is on time. There's no fooling her. Patty Gasso likes what she sees.
Alo's 5th home run of this postseason. The Sooners 6-0, and they have been crushing folks en route to this Women's College World Series. Now in the NCAA tournament, outscoring opponents 67-5. And they now have more home runs than strikeouts as a team in their 6 tournament contests. And the delivery of the home run ball to the family. Oh, and a smooch too. Bonus.
Everyone's kissing.
That's a boomer bonus right there. Well, her parents who have been her most ardent supporters. They're the ones that worked with her as a youngster, and then as she got older, came to the mainland. Oh, she even knows the number, 118. Came to the mainland to play travel ball a lot. Slow roller to second base. Jefferson is there. 2 down. But it didn't take long for the buzz to begin here in OKC.
Well, and sometimes you have to wonder, I mean, Coleman with the leadoff double, first base is open. I think you have to be a little more careful with the way you start off throwing to Alo, just knowing that the majority of her home runs do come in that first inning. Maybe a little off-speed, rise ball up, just like pitches that are out of the zone, see if she'll fish, and if she doesn't, you put her on first. Make someone else beat you.
Watch out. Alyssa Brito, the starting left fielder. She did fare well against Texas in the regular season, hit 3 home runs in that series, and has moved up in the batting order today into that 5 spot. If you're looking for a place to hide, there isn't one. All 9 in the batting order are 300 hitters or better. Dolcini in Texas trying to bring the heart rate back down after the hot start here from OU. Haley has shown tremendous poise with a heavy workload throughout this tournament. They've been in hostile territory pretty much since Selection Sunday. They had to go on the road to beat a higher-seeded Washington team, then into the heart of SEC country to beat the 4-seed Arkansas. And as you would imagine here today, a very partisan crowd as Mike White looks on. Brito. And Washington is there.
Thank you, guys.
Side retired, but Coleman on board with the double, and Alo brought her in and then decided to touch them all too.
Jocelyn Alo, look at the swing, staying open to that front side, the power from the backside. Ain't no one better in college softball at hitting home run, and that's been Jocelyn Alo all year long. She pounds home plate, and her teammates welcome Oklahoma up 2-0.
Can Texas respond after the Jocelyn Alo 2-run home run to get things going for the Sooners? Texas a winner on Thursday night against 12-time national champion UCLA. They beat them 7-2, scoring the most runs they have ever scored in a World Series game on this their 6th trip here. They are trying to reach the national semifinals for the 4th time. They have never played for that championship trophy, reaching the Champ Series.
And to your point, Beth, they faced Megan Faramo, who is similar with pitch selection, I guess you could say, as Hope Troutwine. A lot of rise, screw outside.
That's a fair ball. Jefferson trying to leg it out. Good cover by Tiare Jennings, and the throw down from Kinsey Hansen, one away.
Now batting third base for number 10, Mia Scott.
Well, thanks to the Allo two-run home run and the lead, now they turn it over their pitching. How about this first inning barrage on the season, outscoring foes 107-2. That's it. Scott, and she will beat this out. So some short game for the top of the order. And really, Jess, it's all about the top four in this lineup. They are the ones that are getting on base and driving each other in so far in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the game plan was definitely to drag to the pitcher, Hope Trautwein, coming out of the circle. That's exactly what Janae Jefferson wanted to do, but didn't get it far enough. And with their speed, this is what they do. And their best two hitters now, Washington and Iakopo, up to bat.
This is a good group of base stealers, over 90 on the season. As Alyssa Washington steps in. Mia Scott, by the way, with that last first pitch swinging single, she has 5 hits on 5 pitches in this World Series through the first 2 games.
Yeah, you think, well, she puts a lot of bunts down, but she also hits for power. Seeing her hit the ball off the wall in the gap. Gotta watch them run, too. Texas 17 for their last 17 in stolen bases.
And a lot of respect for the arm of Kinsey Hansen nationwide. Not many try to run on her. Texas was 0 for 1 in their stolen base chances against Oklahoma in their 3-game series earlier this year.
Boy, and take a look at where Talon Snow is, the first baseman for Oklahoma. She is way off that line. So you know they're going to be pitching Washington more likely inside.
And they've got the throw behind the base runner, so Mia Scott takes off and heads for second. Then a runner in scoring position for Texas.
It's pretty much a delayed steal. The jump that Mia Scott gets, she gets way off and just waiting. I mean, she didn't even turn her body. She was just baiting. Kinsey Hansen, throw behind me. Go for it. As soon as you do, I'm gone. Not even a throw. She's got the bag.
Heads up play by Mia Scott. Washington, fair ball inside the bag at third, and a run will score for Texas as the top of the order delivers once again.
And with the defensive positioning of Oklahoma, Washington making great adjustments, looking on that inside corner. Gets around this ball, just jams it right past Jana Johns diving. That is a great effort by Washington. Easily going to score Scott, who gets herself into scoring position on that delayed steal. Texas already putting a run back on the board, splitting that lead in half.
Alyssa Washington now with an RBI in each of the 2 games here at the World Series for Texas. And here comes Mary Iakopo. 2 for 3 on Thursday with a 2-run home run against the UCLA Bruins. The senior out of Carson, California. Ball.
Take it back to Thursday. Mama Bear, Mary Iakopo, take the ball down and in. Let's put the game away for Texas. A big home run for the big super senior.
Thanks, that one foul, got out in front. Hit our camera. Camera appears to be okay.
It's a moving target camera, too. Oh. Oh.
Oh!
That's
Wow.
the shot.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. This would be huge for Texas to respond in kind. That tying run out at second base with one out. Team that's been through a lot of adversity. They really struggled out of the gate to open up the season. Things were not looking good. And then they started to find their groove middle of the year. Iacopo chops it to Johns, checks the runner over the first. 2 down. They showed a lot of fight in the Big 12 tournament, which of course includes 2 other teams that made it here to the Women's College World Series, OU and Oklahoma State. And then really the road trip brought them together for the NCAA tournament, and they have been a different team in the circle, defensively, and even against really good pitching. They've held the line at the plate as well.
Well, Coach talked about sometimes we win ugly, he said, but more importantly, just be ordinary. Make the ordinary plays. I mean, they've done that. In this postseason, they've been outstanding.
Mackenzie Parker will get the start here at DP today. Ball. Similar to a designated hitter, but the substitution rules are a little bit different in softball. You can move people around, and actually you can be lifted for a pinch runner and re-enter the game. We also have a new format this year. We've stretched out the World Series from 7 days to 9 days with the idea that the teams that reach the championship series will be much better rested and at their best. And we also have 2 coach challenges and video booth reviews. Trying to make sure we get everything right. I got to tell you, the crowd today has come to play. There were a lot of drop flyouts yesterday in the crowd, and they have risen to the occasion. A couple of nice grabs already.
Even our camera caught one.
Yes. Troutwine looking for the strikeout to end the threat. Waste one high. Hope, a 5th-year player, spent the last 4 years at North Texas, where she was the Conference USA Pitcher of the Year and then transferred in. Perker out to left, Brito under it. And she'll take care of business. They get one back on the RBI single from Alyssa Washington. A 2-1 ball game. Yeah, that was an incredible moment. Able to go back home, the timing of it. And if you followed with Jossie all year long, a lot of teams decided that they weren't going to throw to her and walked her a lot, building up to that trip out to Hawaii. They didn't want to have their name next to hers, giving up the home run ball. But what a remarkable career, and what a moment that was for her to be able to do it on her home turf. And to be able to pass one of her mentors, Lauren Chamberlain, also a Sooner, held the title before she did, and has been a real good person to talk to about all the pressures. Has been such a positive influence on her. Kinsey Hansen grounds it to Jefferson. 1 down.
And most importantly, all those young girls she spoke to were there watching. I mean, it's one thing to see her on TV, but when she went to the field that she grew up on, was around, they were doing a clinic, interacting, and then to see that moment and the influence she has, obviously, on so many young girls, but most importantly, those young girls in Hawaii, her home state. That to me was a special moment.
Well, you couldn't have scripted any better. I mean, she was upset. I think a lot of people are upset that she was walked so many times. But without those walks, she wouldn't have been in Hawaii when she broke it. That 96th home run.
Boss down.
When you talk about the power and then the walks, I mean, her on-base percentage in the postseason is .750. Here's Talon Snow getting the start today at first base.
And back to your point, that's one of the things about the Sooners is that they hit .371 as a team, but their on-base percentage is .478 because they know how to pass the bat. They know how to take the walk and let the next teammate behind them do the damage as well.
And they're putting the ball in play. I mean, it's ridiculous how they now have more home runs and strikeouts in the postseason, but the numbers are even close throughout a 57-game regular season.
144 strikeouts on the year, which is minuscule. It's not a lot, to 254 base on ball.
Nice backhand by J.J. Smith down at first, 2 out. That'll bring up Riley Boone, who got the rallies started after they trailed Northwestern 1-0 on Thursday, just the 3rd game all year that they have fallen behind. One of the other ones was Texas in the regular season. And then she ignited a 6-run inning, and they followed that up with a 7-run inning. She had both a double and an RBI single in the 3rd on Thursday night. Popped her up by Acopo. That'll get back into the netting. Thought about the bunt, 2-1. With Janet Johns on deck, the 8-9 batters on Thursday were a ridiculous 5 for 6 with 7 RBI. That's because Jana hit a grand slam. She won't get a chance here. Washington makes the catch. To the bottom of the 2nd we go. UCLA and Arizona, and this their 15th trip to the World Series. They will try and go back-to-back for the 2nd time in school history. This is double elimination format, so both of these teams have a little wiggle room. They won their openers Thursday. The winner is into the national semifinals on Monday. The loser will be playing again tomorrow night against a foe yet to be determined. If you have your bracket in front of you, the loser of this game will cross over to the bottom of the bracket. And then the loser of tonight's Florida-Oklahoma State game would cross over into the top of the bracket. Courtney Day, it's 6, 7, and 8 for Texas. It's just the 2nd time, believe it or not, in this rivalry that they have played at the Women's College World Series. OU beat Texas back in 2013. In this, the 76th overall meeting in a series dominated by the Sooners. They have won 23 of the last 24. And under Patty Gasso's watch, Texas has not beaten Oklahoma twice in the same season in 13 years. They have really taken hold of the Big 12. And a strikeout there for, they're going to check and say she held on.
And now that's a ball because Hansen threw down to Johns.
She held it. Yep. So they will give Texas the ball. You can't throw down to third base if it's not a strikeout. Hansen taps her chest. That's a couple of mistakes for Kinsey early on in this ball game after she threw behind the runner on the base paths. Trying to regroup. She's been on and off the injured list all year long. Really has worked hard to get healthy again and get back into the lineup to help her mates. Ball 4. And that's ball 4. So Day is aboard to lead things off here in the bottom of the 2nd. Let's send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, you saw the decade of dominance from Oklahoma softball and Patty Gasso, and she said, ironically, after that first national championship, she did not like herself as a coach. She said, you know, I got so caught up in the winning, I was unhappy, I was miserable, and it really took her changing her attitude, realizing that there was more to being a good coach. It was about mentoring, it was about helping young women grow and be good, and pouring into them as people, not just players. She said, I totally changed my mindset, and then the winning happened. But it really takes a lot for her to admit that she didn't like how things were going after that first championship, and only by changing did the winning start to happen.
Yeah, they went through a dry spell from 2004 to 2011 where they did not get back here. And really made some big changes in her life. Of course, it's a family affair with Patty, her husband Jim, and their two sons have been around the game their whole lives. Of course, JT is their hitting coach here at Oklahoma. Their other son, DJ, an assistant at Utah. Johns gets the lead runner over to Jennings for the out. One down.
A lot of times we talk about how good the offense is for Oklahoma. Obviously, the pitching as well, but their defense has been outstanding. Just 30 errors on the year. They always go after the lead runner. Again, it's that mindset of aggressiveness in all aspects of the game.
J.J. Smith, she was 2 for 4 in their Thursday win over UCLA. Riley Boone, and she's called off by Coleman out in center field, 2 down.
But there's been a couple long fly balls that are hit high. They're just missing Hope Troutwine. Of course, a rise ball pitcher. You can tell they want to stay off that higher rise ball, but they are looking for that lower rise ball in the zone. And it's a difference of launch angle. We're talking like 3 degrees, and 2 of those balls are hit out of here.
Center fielder, number 6, Bella Dayton.
Bella Dayton in that 9 spot. One of the players that has really picked it up in the postseason for Texas, making this surge. A 260 hitter during the regular season. She's at 320 in the NCAA tournament, has almost matched her power numbers, and she hit a 2-run home run on Thursday. Ball. It would be interesting for Bella, who transferred in from Arizona, 2 years in the desert. The loser of this one, when they cross over, would face the Wildcats. Arizona a winner last night in an elimination game over Oregon State. So the loser here would face the Cats on Sunday night. Don't forget, we've got another ABC game tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern. We know UCLA will be in it.
Some scouting going on. Taryn Mowat,
National championship winning pitcher.
Lauren Lappin, Arizona assistant coaches.
Troutwine gets the strikeout. Well, that was the last time Jocelyn Alo came to the plate back in the first inning. For the 2-time National Player of the Year, won it last year, then won the championship. Winning it this year, can she follow it up with another title? She is due up 3rd here in the inning. Jana Johns, Jada Coleman, and then Alo. In the previous 14 trips to the Women's College World Series, Oklahoma had not hit a grand slam. So they decided to do it twice in one day on Thursday. Jana Johns and Tiare Jennings. As they came back to run rule Northwestern. Congratulations, by the way, to the Wildcats and the Beavers of Oregon State. Tremendous seasons getting here to the Women's College World Series. They were the first two knocked out last night. But what a job by Kate Drohan and the Cats. Laura Berg and OSU.
Gotta love the teams similar to Texas that upset everybody along the way. Unseeded, just kept doing their thing. It's every team's goal, you know, on day one, and then you get to the selection committee. I mean, Oregon State, Arizona, I mean, both of them didn't even know if they would be one of 64. That's why I love that we have 3 unseeded teams so that everyone knows. You get there, anyone has a chance.
Yeah, depth, parity, whatever you want to call it. It's been an interesting year. A lot of great matchups.
The Women's College World Series continues with the Championship Series getting underway on Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern. It is best 2 out of 3 for the title. So we could have softball for you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night next week. For more info, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Be bold, be brave, ladies. What do they got out?
What are they eating?
You know?
Bring us some. Popped up right side. J.J. Smith, 1 down. And here comes the top of the order. Oh, boy. That's got Nap written all over it right there. What's in the bag? Potato chips. Kettle chips. Wow, the smells. Wish you could be here with us, folks. Maybe later in the week, maybe next year. This is a must-see at the Women's College World Series. The growth of this game has been phenomenal. What a bittersweet day it is, by the way, for the Big 12 Conference, with ultimately the departures of these 2 teams to the SEC. They have Oklahoma State playing later today. They could have 2 teams into the semifinals by the end of the night. Pokes have the Florida Gators, the lone remaining SEC team in the tournament, coming up tonight on ESPN.
Ball's out.
Jada Coleman doubled back in the first and then scored on the Allo home run. Washington at short as we walk up the NCAA career home run queen.
And take a look at Jocelyn Aller. So the previous pitch before the home run, look at the location of this. It's a screwball in the inside corner down. She just misses it. And then look at the home run pitch. It is right down Broadway. That pitch is supposed to be inside. Look at the glove of where Mary Iacopo is. And then look at bat contact. That ball is right down the middle of the plate. You cannot miss against Jocelyn Aller. And when first base is open, you have to take advantage of that. Try to get her to expand her own zone. Now.
Let's send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, I talked with Oklahoma JT Gasso, the assistant hitting coach for the Sooners, about the screwball of Haley Dulcini. And, you know, they hadn't seen her before this season. This is her first year with Texas, so they feel like they've had some time now to really come up with a better plan. He said that screwball, one of the things they're looking for is to make sure it's a strike, lay off anything out of the zone, and then be on time. It's like Allo did just that.
Well, the location of that pitch is a big key for Dulcini. It's got to be thrown to the hitter, not just the plate, because look how far off the plate Allo is.
Allo doesn't quite get all of this one. Bella Dayton calling for it, and she's got it. Great players that have been around. Of course, that Texas team was Blair Luna and Taylor Hoagland. We saw Kat Osterman out here the other day from their World Series teams back in the early 2000s. Janae Jefferson is 0 for 2 now in the ball game, and here comes Mia Scott. Singled, stole a base, and scored in the first.
Number 10, Mia Scott.
Ball. One of the corners for Oklahoma way up. Mia Scott has been putting some really good bunts down. Look at how close the corners are, trying to read those hands.
That's the first time she hasn't swung at the first pitch. She had 5 hits on 5 pitches so far in this World Series. How about that? Scott lines that one out to left as Sabrito is there, 2 down. Well, one of the reasons for the late season surge here for Texas has really been the mentality of that man right there. He told us this week, you know, after some rough outings from his coaching days at Oregon, coming here to the World Series, it was all about remaining chill and channeling intensity into energy. And boy, has his team played with a cool. Look at that. Their batting average is just about the same as the regular season, but better in the field and better ERA. That's been huge for their success to get here. And it starts with the coach.
And ERA, third of what it was. And I think it starts, too, obviously Mike White and his mentality, but the defense. I mean, you saw the fielding percentage. What that does, Smitty knows this for the pitching staff. Confidence that they know, okay, I can get groundouts, which is what we've seen from Dolcini, obviously being able to trust that her she doesn't have one swing and miss.
Yeah, 71 errors in the regular season. 3 errors in only the postseason, and that really is the key, right? When you're pitched contact and you're not striking out, you know, double digits a game, you have to have that defense be steady behind you.
Off the glove of Johns, and that's a fair ball. As Scott continues her, or excuse me, Washington continuing to make things interesting here for Texas. They've got the tying run aboard.
This ball hit so hard, almost identical, by the way, to her RBI single that she had, RBI double that she had earlier in the first inning. And, I mean, past the glove of Janet Johns, the difference of this one, it hits so hard, she doesn't get to second base. There's Sabrito like a third baseman.
Third hit of the World Series for Alyssa, and that gives Mariah Copel a chance. She had a runner aboard in the first inning and grounded out.
I'm interested with 2 outs if Washington will test that arm of Kinsey Hansen. Best catchers in the game, one of the best base runners in the game. We talk matchups a lot of time, pitcher to hitter. This one's catcher to runner.
It's Johns at third. Got her. Third inning in a row. They had a chance with a runner on base.
Your team got on the pitcher early. What did you see with Jocelyn Alo as she stepped into the plate?
Confidence. She's hunting a certain pitch, found it, hit it hard.
What's the pitch? I was going to try. I did try. Tell me a little bit about what you are seeing from Dolcini. You finally are getting a chance to see more of her this season. She beat you once. What are you doing differently?
She's deceptive, and she came in throwing a little bit harder now. She's changing up speed, so we've got to be more disciplined. We're way early. We've got to sit late. We've got to work opposite field for our righties. It's got to be better understanding of what she's doing. We just wasted 6 opportunities and 6 straight outs. We're better than that, so we're going to step up and make a change.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Holly, and head coach Patty Gasso. So after the Alo home run, it was 5 straight ground outs followed by 4 straight flyouts. She's retired 9 in a row.
Well, it's all about letting the ball travel. It'll be interesting to see if they make those adjustments and all those righties try to hit the ball middle uppo, letting that ball get a little bit deeper. But that's the conundrum of a screwball pitcher, right? Underneath the hands as a righty.
Jerry Jennings attacking the first pitch. Jennings thinking about second, and she will head that way, standing up to lead off the 4th.
Patty Gasso said it, sitting on that inside pitch, and Tiara Jennings, she kind of opens up that hip. Watch that front foot trigger open to release and clear her hip so she can get to that screwball. This is pretty much all you can do with that pitch. She drives it down the line. Sitting screwball, hitting screwball. You see with her body the telltale of how she did it.
Runner in scoring position for Grace Lyons. She too will go after that first pitch. Grace, the senior from Peoria, Arizona. First team All-American. Coming in on a 6-game hitting streak. She was 2 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in on Thursday. Ball. And Patty Gasso talks about Grace. You know, she just lights up and actually calls her a little ball of light. Her presence, her confidence really triggers everybody else.
Ball 10.
Down and in, 2-1.
Jump, career comparison, batting average, but to me it's been the power. I mean, the home run, she's not done yet, her senior season. She talked to us this week about just understanding not so much the mechanics of her swing. She always had a great swing. You saw the numbers were always good, but understanding what pitches she could drive versus hit. Knowing the zone of where her slugging percentage is, which is there, middle away, and hunting that. That's why she's been taking everything inside. Of course, Dolcini throwing a lot with that screwball on that inner half. Grace Lyons knows middle away, that's the zone that she can drive. That's where the power numbers have increased for her throughout her career.
A couple of those close pitches, Dolcini not getting the good eye of the Sooners, laying off those, especially if they know they're not getting it.
Ball 4.
And they can look back outside.
Lyons draws the walk. A couple on now for Alyssa Brito. Looking for her first hit of this Women's College World Series. She's 0 for 4. Words of encouragement from Kinsey Hansen.
Number 34, Alyssa Brito.
Transferred in from Oregon this year. Sophomore out of Tustin, California. Takes a healthy cut at it. Just in case for Texas, Sophia Simpson is warming up out in the bullpen for the Longhorns. Freshman out of Mont Bellevue, Texas, had a huge win for them in the Arkansas Super Regional.
First pitch of this at-bat to Alyssa Brito, that rise ball away. The first swing and miss that we've actually seen. We're already here in the 4th inning. Dolcini's been getting it done since that first inning home run. A lot of contact.
Yeah, she didn't have a lot of strikeouts against them in the regular season matchups. Let that defense do the work for her. Got Brito here 0-2.
Right now, she's trying to tunnel the curveball and the rise ball, so going away where the pitch will break to the left, away from Brito, and then following that up with the same location, but now it'll break up. hard for a hitter to kind of understand what plane to get your barrel on when it can either go one way, left, or go up.
Another 0-2 pitch. Got a piece.
Brito making sure she's got that really good plate coverage, especially on those outside pitches.
She should go to that rise ball away. We've seen 2 curveballs.
Brito, fly ball out to Dayton. Runners will not be able to advance. 1 down.
And they go after Brito by going on the outside corner, the swing and miss first of the game. Pop-up bunt again on the outside corner, and then Brito's going to foul off a couple of balls, curveballs on the outside corner. They come back underneath the hands, they jam her up, induce the pop-up. Runners stay put.
Checking into that dugout. Mike White, of course, a terrific pitcher back in his day, playing men's fast pitch. Steve Singleton, Megan Bartlett, their assistants. Coming into the season, they had expected a lot of Shea O'Leary, but it didn't work out that way. And Dolcini, the transfer in, and Simpson, the youngster, along with Estelle Check, another transfer from NC State, carried them through the season, but it's been all Dolcini and a sprinkling of Simpson to try and bring them home here to the Women's College World Series.
Can't throw a strike here. 0-2. Got to be out of the zone.
Got her to chase it up, 2 down. And that's her first strikeout. Our Sunday night baseball matchup is coming your way from Wrigley Field. It's the Cards and the Cubs tomorrow night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Coverage begins at 5:30 with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. Another good sports rivalry like the one we've got here today with Texas and OU.
She went 0-2 up out of the zone with the rise ball. Haven't seen a lot of swing and miss. The first strikeout, McKenzie couldn't stay off. Got 2 rise balls in that at bat. 3 pitches. Got her down.
Pinch hitter coming on here in the 7th spot for Taylor Snow. It's Grace Green. Grace is 3 of 13 as a pinch hitter on the year. Former starter here with OU. And a former All-American. That speaks to the depth of this Sooner roster when you can bring a bat like hers off your bench.
Grace Green is very good at covering the plate. She can take an outside pitch and shoot it the opposite way. She starts with that open stance. You can see her really start to open there.
She's cheating. She was looking in. I think she was cheating big. That front foot stepped towards the Texas dugout.
And that's flipped back to Dolcini, and it was called a ball. Not strike 3, so both catchers have had a bit of a miscue here, and that allowed Jennings to advance to 3rd. They rule it a stolen base.
Good heads up, too, for Dolcini to be able to recognize that it had been checked, did not run in, was able to catch this, and Jennings off to 3rd base quickly.
And now they've switched it to an E2. That's kind of Mary's signature move on a call or on a 3rd strike. She'll flip it high in the air out towards the pitcher's circle.
You rarely see it. We've seen it twice in this game,
Yeah.
both catchers.
Green trying to take advantage of the opportunity here. They had a hit and run on with that runner at first. Lions. will go ahead and take the base uncontested on the snap throw down to third. So 2 in scoring position. Big chance here for Grace Green. And a 2-2 count. On a play. Grace has 4 hits on the season in 25 at-bats. 3 of those home runs.
Watch out.
And the count goes full. Her last hit was April 9th. And that was a home run.
Outside pitch not being called. Dulcini almost working a screwball in the outside corner. It's got different rotation. Takes a little off that pitch.
Super interesting, the front foot of Grace Green. Stepping in the bucket, she's just relying on that backside to reach that outside pitch.
Green to the right side, and Popelka comes on to make the catch, and a couple stranded in scoring position.
And so a rise ball that climbs up and away from the zone, not up and into the zone.
5, 6, and 7 here for Texas as the Horns continue to hang around. Both sides have had some chances. Put some more runs on the board. Mackenzie Parker a fly out to left back in the first. Junior from Conroe, Texas. Hope Troutwine got in trouble in that first inning. RBI single for Alyssa Washington. Just a couple of base runners since then. 3-1 here. One of 3 unseeded teams, the most we've ever had a NCAA tournament of upsets. And then the Longhorns added another one on Thursday, beating the 5 seed UCLA Bruins. Last year, JMU was the first unseeded team in history to make it to the semis. There still has not been an unseeded team in the Champ Series. Parker pulls it to Jennings at second. 1 down. Let's take a look at our game track, brought to you by Geico. Each side with 3 hits. The Allo home run, the difference. Hope Troutwine now working into her 4th inning. RBI double for Alyssa Washington. Got the run on the board for the Longhorns. Both sides scoring back in that first inning. And after Courtney Day was lifted for Alyssa Popelka, she has re-entered, so Courtney will hit again here. Walked in the second.
Courtney Day.
One of the things with the new format for these coaches is if you keep winning, you keep getting a day off. And that would allow you, if you wanted, to keep throwing your ace. Now, in the situation with Oklahoma, their ace, Jordy Ball, still not certain about her availability more than maybe a few pitches or an inning or two at a time. Out with an arm injury late in the season. She did make an appearance briefly at the end of the game Thursday, and the National Freshman of the Year is out there warming up in the bullpen. They also have a third pitcher, Nicole May, who, oh, by the way, happens to be undefeated on the season. She's 15-0. So the options for Patty Gasso, if they continue to win and move forward, or if they were to fall into the loser's bracket, decisions to be made for a coach like her and Mike White, who has another arm to go to if need be as well.
Well, the year that Jordy Ball has had, I mean, just to be able to know that it's an option, I imagine it's more of a closer type of option, especially with a score like this. It's so close within a run. But it's a totally different level, a healthy Jordy Ball compared to really anyone else in the country.
She faced 3 batters through 11 pitches Thursday as Day draws the walk with 1 out. And so here we go again for Texas now. The tying run aboard, the go-ahead at the plate. And it's Lauren Burke, a veteran who started out her career at Oregon with Coach White before heading to Austin. And another one of the Longhorns has been a completely different deal at the plate in the postseason as opposed to the regular season.
Well, in the postseason, all of her hits left side of the field.
It pops it up, Lyons calls for it. 2 down. All 3 of their hits have come from the top 3 in the lineup. And it's been a bit of an issue getting something going here at the bottom. There's J.J. Smith.
Troutline's been outstanding with that low rise ball, both inside and outside. She'll establish the count, working from ahead with that low pitch, and then start to climb up the ladder. Show the rise ball up at the eyes.
One hopper, Lyons gets the out at second. A walk and a base runner stranded. 4 innings in the books, a 1-run ball game. They don't always have to be pretty, but as long as the defense is behind her and she is spinning that screwball, they've been in good shape. Small ball, Oklahoma trying to get something started. And it's Riley Boone who triggered their rally on Thursday.
In Texas, a little taste of their own medicine. They had the drag bunt single earlier. Riley Boone, perfect location. Ayacopa, the only one really within distance coming out, but Boone with her speed. How about the emotion? I think she had like a jump chart 5 feet in the air after she was called safe.
Number 9 hitter Janet Johns trying to drop down the sacrifice and does.
Oh, a little bit of a pop-up there. This bunt, so important to get them down. It looked like Texas almost had the opportunity to try and get underneath that.
Well, this also would mean that Jocelyn Alo could get to the plate here with a runner aboard, at least. Here's Jada Coleman back to the top of the order. 1 for 2 with a double. Coleman gets a hold of one. Back to the track and off the base of the wall, and Boone will come in to score. And the second extra base hit for Jada adds to the lead.
Time of day, Jada Coleman, her first hit was actually low and in. This one, she just takes a rise ball, stays on top of it, just meets it to literally hit it out to right center field off the bat. I actually thought this was out. Riley Boone coming all the way around from first, second base. to score. More emotion for these Sooners.
All three batters in the inning, first pitch swinging. And now what do you do with Alo? With first base open. Alo reaches for it. Another drift foul.
Playing so deep. That's normally a ball that gets caught.
Yeah.
The respect for Alo.
Here's what happened when they did pitch to her in the first. Boom.
This is why the Audis are playing with their heels against the wall. Jocelyn Alo hit one out back in the first inning. 2-run shot. Get the Sooners on the board.
Alo again. Gets after one on the outside part of the plate. That a girl. Yes. Glove work out. That's a future outer. Outie, Jess.
Yeah, no, she had a great read. Even called off
Oh, man.
everyone else.
Making memories. That's a Jalo ball, too. A remarkable season for Jocelyn. Over 70 hits, 70 runs batted in, 70 runs scored. Dolcini comes inside to her here.
Good adjustments by Jocelyn after seeing those outside. Trying to expand the zone. It's back under the hand. Still can try to barrel that up. And that's just where you cannot miss, especially where Jocelyn is off the plate. You've got to throw to her body off the plate. You cannot throw over the plate when you're ahead.
Right back up the middle. Waving Coleman to the plate. And she's in safely. RBI. Number 3 on the day for Alo.
And this is just another situation on an 0-2 pitch where you try to expand the zone. Look at the way that Jocelyn's going to go get this pitch on the outside corner. Just too close on an 0-2 pitch. You've got to throw that in the opposite batter's box because Jocelyn has the ability to step to the ball, hit the ball. No matter where it's thrown, she will hit to that field. Outside, she'll go with it to right field. Inside, she'll pull it to left field. Her dad obviously approves, and that's why she's got one of the top batting averages in the NCAA, just a skosh under 500. If Simpson can use that effectively against Oklahoma to try to take away all of that Sooner power.
2 runs have scored. 1 more on the base paths with 1 out. An RBI double for Jada Coleman, an RBI single for Jocelyn Alo. Here's the 3-hitter Tiare Jennings. 1 for 2 with a double. Beth Mowins, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe with you. Winners bracket Saturday at the Women's College World Series. Jennings tees off. Back it goes. And a 2-run shot for Tiare.
Second pitch, the freshman Sophia Simpson. First one was in the dirt. This one's supposed to be a rise ball that gets out of the zone. Instead, it's in the cookie zone for Tiare Jennings. And the emotion, she knows it as soon as contact. Watch the back leg, the point of contact. And as soon as she hits this, it's a no-doubter. In fact, she's dropping the bat, pointing up, knowing she's got her Sooners another run.
26th on the season. The home run barrage continues. 4 of their 6 in the game, courtesy of the long ball. And when you look at their numbers on the season, that's about right. About 50% of their runs from the home run during the regular season. It's up close to 70% now in the NCAA tournament. And to update the count, it's 25 consecutive games with a home run. They have homered in 52 of their 58 on the season. they average over 2 per game, so they may not be done yet.
Ball. Yeah, they just sit so many pitches. They're just so well schooled and versed on knowing what they want to hunt. And so Simpson, known for her off-speed pitch, it gets an elevated pitch in the zone and just bash it out of the park. This team, there's just nowhere to hide.
For a strike, 2-2 to Grace Lyons. Two home runs in 2 games here at the World Series for Jennings. Give her 6 RBI.
Ball.
Remember, this is a part of the order, ironically, one of the few teams, Texas, against Allo and Jennings. They're coming into this game, 1 for 19. Those two against Texas, no RBIs.
They get a strikeout of Lyons as we go down to Holly.
Well, Tiare Jennings of Oklahoma came into last season and it was fantastic as a freshman, but this year has been different. She was moved into that 3rd spot in the lineup. Can you imagine the pressure hitting behind Jocelyn Allo, having to protect her? Well, she said she changed her mental game. She knew that people had scouted her this season, that she had to be better. And she said Jocelyn Allo's approach to the game, how much film she watches, how much preparation goes into what Jocelyn does, that has trickled down to her. And you see her mental approach at the plate. That is a ton of hard work.
Boy, and you see her power too, Holly. That one almost cleared the bleachers.
So quick.
Well, that's one of the things, too, is we talk about the talent, the mechanics, and all the things, but the amount of video these girls watch on their own. Yeah. So it's not just the coaching staff putting stuff in front of them. And Jocelyn talked about having an Xbox, and she could pull up YouTube, and she'll literally rewind with her controller. Her gaming controller, and just go back and forth and watch film on pitchers, watch her film on herself. And that's just back in her dorm, back in her apartment.
Delivery of the home run ball to the Jennings family. Inside out and going opposite for Alyssa Brito on a 2-out base running. Well, as you talked about, Jess, they did not hit well off of Texas pitching in the regular season series. They have done so today. Allo and Jennings sharing a moment. And Holly talking about how those two have been just a ruthless combination next to each other in the batting order.
Well, it is interesting because when you do, as a pitcher, have success against hitters in the regular season, when you face those hitters again, you cannot do the same thing. You can't just say, okay, I got him out on the screwball, I'm going to throw him the screwball again, because guess what? They've watched it, they've adjusted, they're looking for it. You have to figure out how to throw that pitch for a ball to basically get the zone a little bit larger and go to other corners for your strike pitch. So waste on your previous success.
Ball into the dirt. Brito will scoop down to second for the pinch hitter Lindsey Elam here in the 6th spot in the lineup. Lindsey could take over as the catcher as well. Mike White out to settle down his freshman after the wild pitch. Let this get any further away from them in college softball. You have the 8-run rule if you are up by 8 runs or more. And the trailing team has an at-bat in the 5th inning, then you can end the game early. Let's take a look at our bracket update. Brought to you by Enterprise. There are the 6 teams left. So what happens is the winner of this game would basically jump over UCLA and into the semifinals Monday afternoon. And the loser of this game would cross down to play Arizona tomorrow night. And then if you go back to the lower left, you see that Florida-Oklahoma State game coming up tonight on ESPN. The winner of that one is into the semis. The loser would cross over into the upper half of the bracket to face UCLA tomorrow afternoon on ABC.
So the importance of these games, today's games, the winner of these games needs just one more win in order to make it to the Champ Series.
We will send 2 more teams home tomorrow. Those are both elimination games, so 4 teams would be left on Monday. And if you haven't lost, you just need to win once. If you have a loss, then you would need to sweep a doubleheader to get to that Champ Series with a day off before the series would start, which is new this year. It was wild last season. For the first time, we had to play all 17 games. All the if necessary games were necessary last year before Oklahoma beat Florida State in Game 3 of the Champ Series.
The other thing I think will be interesting this year is the if necessary game is basically played right after the first semifinal game. And I think that's an advantage for both teams, to be honest.
Elam fly ball to center, and that'll end the inning. The 2-time national champion Florida Gators, 2014, 2015. For the Pokes, their 3rd straight trip here, looking for their first title. Everybody chasing these guys right now. The Oklahoma Sooners with the 6-1 lead over Texas. Hasn't always been easy for number 1. The top seed has reached the Champ Series 9 times in 16 years. They've only won the title 6 times, including OU last year.
Pressure, expectation.
A little pressure.
Yeah.
Yep. Nine, and then the top of the order here for Texas. Dayton, Jefferson, and Scott. The significance of winning today, well, statistically, it's pretty big. Of the national champions, 84% of them started out 2-0. Of the teams that reached the Champ Series, well, 77% of those reached after starting out 2-0.
Yeah, last year was the exception to the rule. Both Florida State and Oklahoma lost their first games, battled all the way through. I love it. As you always say, it's the first time ever we needed all 17 games at the Women's College World Series.
Bonus softball.
Yep.
Up. Long run for the 3rd baseman, Jana Johns. She's got it. 1 down.
Rolls it back up to the top of the order. And this is the offensive production for Texas. Janae Jefferson at the very top. Their top 4 in their lineup, hitting 400 in the tournament. Everybody else 244. When they get things going, they need rallies, they need runs. It's these 4 they look to.
Question now, too, for Patty Gasso is, do you let Troutwine play this out? Do you want to get a look at Nicole May, get her some innings? Is there a chance possibly for Jory Ball to throw a few more pitches?
Cross down.
Oh, it is interesting. We did see Jordy Ball in the pen warming up. I think that the question, as you just stated, is May. Do you get May some innings in case you need her at some point later on?
Hope's done a terrific job on Janae Jefferson. He's kept her off the bases thus far. 0-2.
I think the biggest issue, though, with trying to bring May in is May got roughed up a little bit by Texas during the year, so it might not be the right matchup to try to get her some innings.
Fighting with the sun is Riley Boone, and Janae Jefferson is 0 for 3. 2 down. Sun-splashed, humid day today in Oklahoma City. Doesn't look like many seats are available. Especially when you've got these two teams. And then for the night session, you've got Oklahoma State. Very accessible for their fan bases.
It's hard to come by tickets.
There were some high-priced ones on the interwebs this morning for folks last minute trying to get in.
Which is awesome.
Great to see. Great to see. A lot of crimson and cream out there, some burnt orange.
Saw a team from Maui. Teams traveling from all over the country, coming in for local tournaments, but of course we're supporting Jocelyn Allo.
Off the glove of Jennings, and it spits out into center. Mia Scott on base for the second time. What you got for us, Holly Rowe?
Well, I just want to say how spectacular it is to see this. 13,000 people here at Hall of Fame Stadium, and it has grown through the years. I remember when we first got here doing games, and there was just a fence in the outfield and no stands out there. It's grown and grown. One of the largest showcases for women's softball in the world now, and I love that the fans are packing this new place. If you build it, they will come, and every nook and cranny full for Women's College World Series softball.
There's a good look at the entire complex with some of the fields out beyond the walls. Tiara Jennings given an error on that last play, so an E4. And here's Alyssa Washington, a pair of singles. She drove in a run. The lone one for the Lone Stars back in the first.
Only been 3 hits. 2 of them come off her bat.
Shallow left, and coming on is Coleman. 1 on, 1 left on, 5 in the books, and a 5-run Oklahoma lead.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
And a 6-1 lead. Back at the plate here on the top of the 6th. Snow grounded to third, 1 down.
But to your point, Jess, I do think that with the career now that we're talking about that Jocelyn has had, you've got to make someone else step up in a big situation and beat you. And granted, Jennings is in that spot protecting Olive because she has the ability to do that, but you still have to force the hand of the other hitters to try to make them put the runs up on the board.
She's just been so
Amazing.
good.
Watch out.
Riley Boone, the 8th spot in the lineup, so most runs in a World Series through your first 2 games. 21 of them for UCLA, and they won the championship in 2010, 95 for Arizona. They scored 20 runs. They didn't win the title. That was the game that UCLA won, but then the title was vacated. In what would have been a 5-year stretch of national championships for Arizona, because they won the 2 before that and the 2 after. Last year's Sooner team, they set the record with 49 runs total at the World Series, and they're trying to track that down. Allo's numbers probably most similar when you talk about power hitters that also had the average, someone like Stacey Newman at UCLA, and then those monster bats at Arizona. Laura Espinosa, Leah Bratz, Jenny Dalton that triggered those championship teams back in the 90s. There were probably some in your day, Smitty, but if you want to go into the whole dead ball era, we can do that maybe at another time.
Yeah, we need about 5 more games to talk about that. It is interesting to your point as well about the Arizona teams. A lot of people think that it's the speed and all the slappers they had, but it was really the power hitters that did so much damage during that time frame.
In for a strike to Boone, 3-2. It's a team that leads the country in batting average, home runs, runs per game. I mean, they're averaging over 9 per night. Boone lines to Jefferson, who snags it 2 down. What you got for us, Holly?
Well, a few weeks ago, I was able to sit in on a film session that Oklahoma hitting coach JT Gasso ran with his hitters, and it was a fascinating experience. They use this software called Savant, and it's an MLB type of product. He could pull up any type of swing that had had success against any type of pitch. So, for example, if you're going to see a lot of rise balls or a lot of screw balls or a lot of curve, you could pull up pitches that you've seen and who had success against it. They would show them how to emulate those swings against those pitches. A lot of MLB players that they would showcase, a lot of softball players that they would show from around the country as well. And then he would also show examples of what not to do, like, see, this was early, she got out too early, or she let her hands get in front of her. So it was just a fascinating session to see why this Oklahoma Sooners hitting practice is so incredible and why they've made such great strides under JT Gasso.
1-0 to Jana Johns. Out to left, Burke is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Simpson.
Not just education, but activity. It's huge.
And it was added late. It wasn't in there. Billie Jean King talks about how important it was thought about to think about athletics back in the 70s. And now look at where we're at.
4, 5, and 6 for Texas in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is winner's bracket, so nobody goes home with a loss. But the winner does advance to the national semifinals, and they would be 1 win away from the Champ Series.
I think the other thing that's interesting about Title IX is obviously we've seen at the institutional level, right, educational funding from the government, you have to have that equality, but I want to see it more at the local government level.
Yeah.
Because there are tax dollars that come into local governments, and we do a good job of building stadiums and facilities for men's professional sports. Well, we need to do it now for women, for women's professional sports.
Absolutely.
Youth professional. I mean, Oklahoma City is a great example of a city that has built a stadium for a women's event. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities for communities to do better for women. I mean, basketball, we're lucky. Women's basketball can play on men's basketball facilities, but softball, it's nice to have our own softball stadium.
Ben infield, Johns takes care of Iacopo, 1 down. Left with 5 outs to work with now. Texas, of course, the motto is Texas Fight. They have 17 comeback wins this year. They had one in the regionals. They had another one in the super regionals. Katie Simmons, the freshman, was a defensive replacement out in right field. She'll get an at-bat here. one.
Hope Troutwine continues to do a good job. I mean, a lot of times you look at her as a power pitcher, strikeout pitcher because of her rise ball. She only has 1 strikeout today, but she's worked from ahead. Her pitch count was good. She's at 75 pitches.
Well, it's the new reality, too, with the transfer portal. Last year, G. Juarez was a transfer into Oklahoma, won the national championship. Paige Lowry was a part of their championship team. But now Troutwine trying to join that group. She would be the first right-hander. They've all been lefties before her. Patty Gasso loves the southpaws.
Yeah, you joked with her when we met with them before the series started. Can you win one with a righty?
Yeah, she kind of snarled at me a little bit. She left the room. Beth Mowens. Well, that's one of the nice things about the growth of the game. You get to spend a lot more time around coaches like Patty and Mike White and really talk to these players and get to know all their stories. For years we've been coming here telling tall tales with Sue Enquist and Mike Candrea and hearing all the data that they've collected over the years. That's drilled down the line and foul. An event dominated for the first few decades by the Pac-12 conference. UCLA and Arizona in particular have 20 NCAA titles. Then Michigan broke through in 2005 and the game started moving east of the Mississippi River. The growth of the Southeastern Conference, Alabama and Florida have national championships. And in recent years, with the addition of Clemson and Duke, picking up softball, the ACC had 4 teams that were seeded this year. And it appears to have settled in Norman, Oklahoma, as they seek a 5th national championship in 9 years. Sooners or Gators have been in the finals in 10 of the last 13 championship series. And they are both still alive in this tournament. Who's got the biggest trophy case? Well, for every sport, that would be the UCLA Bruins, and then Arizona with 8, Oklahoma with 5, ASU, Florida, and A&M with 2 apiece. What's been fun, though, with the growth of the game, 13 different programs have reached the finals, and 9 different programs have won a national championship since we went to the Champ Series format back in 2005.
There's been a couple of springboards. The 96 Olympics really helped the SEC, right? Think about all those extra programs, all those extra scholarships and opportunities for young girls to play college softball.
And the fact that it was in Georgia. The part of the country that was only playing slow pitch at the time, and then fast pitch came right after that.
The ACC expanding, talking about the new programs.
And now not only are schools and conferences getting behind women's sports, but so are corporations. The new Loves Field that will be built in Norman, the new home for Sooner softball in the coming seasons. Katie Simmons with a good rip and a base hit.
This is a line shot. Watch Alyssa Brito. Watch her first step. In. Oh, biggest mistake. Ball hit right at you. You got to open up to read it. And then if you need to go in, once you commit to in, then you are in trouble going back. And this one was a hard single. Played it off the wall.
13 pitch at bat there for Katie.
Right fielder.
Was close to hitting a home run that was just barely foul.
Box in.
That was a heck of a bat, by the way. Katie Simmons, 12 pitches, battling. And her first at bat of the game, too. She'd come in for Mackenzie Parker.
Wants to come out and chat with Troutwine. A second to check out the bracket again. So the winner, as it is right now, Oklahoma, they would jump all the way to the right to the semis. Texas would drop down to play Arizona tomorrow night. Still to come later, Florida State, Oklahoma, same thing there. The winner would leapfrog into the semis, and the loser would then cross over to face UCLA. Called strike on the corner today. Get out of play. That's the Cowgirls arriving. Oklahoma State and Florida coming up at 7 Eastern on ESPN tonight. Winners bracket. Pokes and the Longhorns, the only two teams to beat Oklahoma on the season. They are 55-2.
A lot of deep counts. Third time through the order now for Texas. A lot of foul balls. A lot more takes on the rise ball that's out of the zone.
Ripped out to left and a base hit for Day, and a couple on board here for Texas. Back-to-back hits off of Troutwine.
And I love the at-bat. You get to the count to be full. You lay off the pitch prior to this, which was a rise ball up out of the zone. You find something right belt high that you can drive. And this is where we're seeing Texas start to make those adjustments third time through.
Yeah, and that's a miss by Troutwine, too. You could see the glove of Elam was outside, and the pitch location came back over home plate. And Courtney Day just slams that into left field.
Pinch hitter coming on now for Texas is Jordan Whitaker, sophomore out of Jacksonville, Texas. Joe hit in the 7 spot. Well, we've seen some comebacks before out of the Longhorns. They got another one working here. That's lined out to Brito and left, 2 down.
You know, you don't see that too often. You come off the bench, first pitch, swinging. Especially Hope Troutwine, because you kind of want to take a look at the rise ball first. Came in for the pop. And quick out.
Yeah, and to your point, Jess, a 13 pitch at bat by Simmons, base hit. And the same thing with Day, a really good battle. We want to, at this point in the game, try to work those counts a little bit deeper. Day was a 3-2 count as well, and she picked up her base hit.
There you go, one of the big stories for Texas. And that'll get Jen Rocha out of the dugout, the pitching coach. So here's J.J. Smith, 0 for 2, but she had a couple of hits in their win Thursday.
Ball's down.
Couple of singles here in the inning for Texas, for Simmons and Day. Heading into the 7th inning, it will be the top of the order for Oklahoma. Coleman, Allo, Jennings due up. Another chance to see Jocelyn swing the bat. A 2-run home run, a run-scoring single. Coleman also has driven in a run, and Jennings also has hit a home run. Not a bad little afternoon for your top 3.
Just so tough. Coleman from the left side, Allo and Jennings from the right side.
Down with the second, and that'll take care of it. Jennings over to first, side retired. So 6-1 Oklahoma. Big swingers getting ready to step to the plate for the top-seeded Sooners. Logan Hewlin is the new pitcher for Texas, the sophomore from Dripping Springs.
Leading off the top for 7 for Oklahoma. 6 foot, number 24, Taylor Coleman.
Had 1 inning of work in the Super Regional against Arkansas. And stepping in against 3, make it 4 consecutive All-Americans in the batting order. How about trying to run that gauntlet? First team, first team, first team, and first team in your top 4 spots.
What's up?
Crazy good. Crazy consistent.
Their numbers offensively may actually fall just a little short of last year. I mean, that was just a record-setting explosion last year for their offense. But when it comes to a conversation about the best teams ever, the best record is UCLA in 1992 behind Lisa Fernandez's undefeated season. They were 54-2. And if Oklahoma were to run the table here, that would be 59-2 without a loss in the postseason. I think if there's maybe one hiccup last year, they lost twice here at the World Series. There have been other powerhouse teams that have come in here and just rolled through the competition en route to the championship. Flare out to Lou Gilbert, back to the track, and a little more on Jocelyn Allo.
And just look at her day to day, and she's got different swings depending on the count, and this is why she can hit for power and average. Look to the left, 2-strike swing. She's just trying to get to contact, put the ball in play. On the right, early in the count, that's her power swing. Let's go ahead and break down the power swing. You look at the back hit, that coil, that's her power, and then the turn. That's when she's able to get that explosiveness. Her bat-to-ball skills like none other in the game, but she'll adapt that swing depending on the count.
Also has an RBI single to go with that 2-run home run, which was number 118 in her career. Holly?
Well, Jocelyn talked about coming into this season knowing so much was on the line. She wanted to be in the best shape of her life, and she feels like she is. You see that strong lower body. She's proud of it. She even says, I'm strong and sexy, and she is owning it, and I love it because she needs that strength and power for the swing, and she has really dedicated herself this season through diet, through extra workouts to make sure that she's capitalizing on this senior season. Strong and sexy.
Well, Holly, she didn't always have that confidence, too. That's something that she has admitted to, which I absolutely love. She said how she, doubted, didn't always love her body, didn't always love, and understand how great of an athlete she was. And she talked about actually coming into the fall a couple years ago and really realizing and getting an understanding of being powerful, being strong, and seeing Serena Williams, someone that she looked up to.
Ball's down.
And I think another thing that's interesting, too, is today, hitters, pitchers in both baseball and softball, they lift heavy. Back, 30 years ago, baseball and softball players aren't supposed to lift heavy. It tightens you up, it impedes your mobility. Not anymore.
Career score.
That's a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma, too. I mean, they've had greats.
She's number 4 now, all-time NCAA, and runs batted in, by the way.
She also hit her 30th home run of the season this game. She's the only player in D1 history to have 3 seasons with 30-plus home runs.
As a freshman, she hit 30. I mean, you knew great things were coming. Even though that sophomore year was a little bit of a...
Yeah, she had a bump in the road.
Yeah.
And she was away from the team for a couple of weeks. There's a strike to Jennings.
And that's why I think it'll be interesting over the next couple of years to see what Jennings does. Jennings is on a great path. She hit 30 home runs as a freshman.
She's got 26 this year.
Yep.
He's been able to learn from Jocelyn the same way that Jocelyn learned from Lauren Chamberlain.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future for Jennings. Once Alo is gone, will they pitch around Jennings? All those, who's going to protect her?
I'm sure they've got some freshmen coming in.
Of course they do. Well, actually, she almost spilled beans about someone from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Another good hitter.
Mike White out to talk to Hewlin. Don't forget, we got more softball still to come tonight, 7 Eastern over on ESPN. Winners bracket, Florida and Oklahoma State. Terrific left-hander Kelly Maxwell in the circle for the Pokes. What a job by Natalie Lugo in the circle, coming on in relief for Florida. Charlotte Eccles hit a home run for the Gators. Those two, in a lot of ways, similar to this Texas team. They had some struggles. They had some ups and downs. They had a come-to-Jesus moment or two and hit their stride late in the year. People started getting healthy again. They started finding their right spots in the rotation in the batting order. Knocked down by Washington. And a couple on board. That's the 3rd hit of the day. And now it's Grace Lyons. Oh for 2 with a walk.
Bust down.
Missed that away to an air. As it stands, the path for the Sooners, if they win this one and stay in the top half of the bracket, it would set up a potential semifinal with either UCLA, Florida, or Oklahoma State. We know UCLA will stay on their side of the bracket. We're not sure yet, Florida or Oklahoma State. That'll be the loser of the game tonight. Lions goes the opposite way. Simmons has it. Allo cannot advance. 2 down. For Texas, as it stands, they would go to the bottom of the bracket, have a date with Arizona tomorrow, and then still have to deal with either Florida or Oklahoma State if they were to keep winning. Brito's 1 for 3, singled her last time up. Last chance for Texas in the bottom of the inning. 9 and in the top, so there'll be another go-round with Janae Jefferson, Mia Scott.
Oklahoma just so disciplined no matter what pitcher they're facing. They do a very good job of controlling the strike zone. A lot of times you see the pitchers do that, but the offense for Oklahoma is very good at just not expanding it. Understanding, laying off pitches on the edges.
There's a rope down the line and left, and Allo rumbles around third and comes in to score. RBI single for Alyssa Brito.
Well, and Brito just understanding the strike zone, lays off a couple of pitches that are close. This one low and inside and just rotates on it, drives it right down that left field line. She was outstanding in her at-bat prior on a 2-0 count, attacked. She's swinging a hot bat right now.
Two on with 2 out for Lindsey Elam.
There's also the emotion, too, that Oklahoma continues to show. They did it throughout the regular season. It didn't matter what the score was. They fired each other up. And it's not just usually you see a pitcher, maybe a hitter, fist pumps, some excitement. This is every athlete on this team.
Elam out to center. Dayton's got it. Last chance coming up for Texas on the bottom of the 7th. Winner moves on to the semifinals, and they would be a win away from the championship series. The loser is back at it tomorrow night against Arizona. Ball. Dayton and then the top. Hope Troutline back out there for the 7th inning, wondering if we might see Nicole May. Of course, it was right around this time that we did see Jordy Ball on Thursday night come in to pitch to a few batters. #1 ERA NCAA in the country this year for Hope. Their staff, #1 in the country. Lions got it. One down. Top of the order, and Janae Jefferson, who's 0 for 3 today.
Grace Lyons, one of the best in the business, going to go get this ball. Patty Gasso says she's probably the most underrated shortstop in the entire game. Big offensive numbers, but a glove, second to none out there.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year this season. Jefferson gets a hold of one. That drives Boone back to the track and goal. Janae Jefferson, solo shot. Season. That is her 4th of this NCAA tournament.
Texas is not done yet. Talked about the top of this order. This is what produces their offense. And I love how crowded Janae is, by the way, on the plate. Hope Troutwine tries to come in on her hands, and that's one zone that you ain't getting past Janae Jefferson. The power has come, Beth, to your point, in the last 2 weeks for Janae.
And for Hope Troutwine, she'd only given up 2 home runs the entire regular season, and now 2 in her last 2 outings.
Rachel Lewis for Northwestern, a solo shot.
Ball. Millie Scott singled and scored in the first. Janae Jefferson, by the way, 264 career games. She has hit safely in 81% of those, including today.
I think you could easily say the best offensive player that has ever played for Texas.
Scott yanks one, too. Boone has this one. 2 down, and Texas down to its final out. Alyssa Washington, a couple of singles today. First pitch swinging. Taylor Snow's got it. When the Oklahoma Sooners beat Texas 7-2, they are into the national semifinals.